Hello, all you sexy human creatures. Good to see you. Doing a few adjustments. Tonight is Center of Light, the Cave series. I hope I don't get Facebook slapped. Mark Zuckerberg, I found fire videos that actually say no copyright. If this feed shuts off again, my apologies. It's a learning thing. Tonight is Center of Light, the Cave series. Omniscience. Omniscience. But it is Omniscience. Metaphysics. That's which is beyond the physical realm. Physics. We're moving into metaphysics. Omniscience. All-knowing. Think about that. Pun intended. Think about all-knowing. Does that possibility exist for you in your thought? Well, obviously it does. I can prove it to you, even if you're a skeptic or an atheist. Some people call it magical thinking. I don't care what you call it. I'm gonna put you in check. If you was to sit and think about the possibility of all-knowing, some might say absolute hogwash. All right. Let's call that hogwash a limitation, a box, an edge. The question I pose to you is, what lies beyond the outermost edge? The mind gets shattered immediately. And you fall into the knowing that I'm telling you the truth. How do you know that you know? How do you know? You know? How do you know you know? You will know that when your kundalini begins to rise. When your kundalini, the base of your spine, the caduceus, the medical staff, the two snakes intertwining, two snakes, male and female, divine masculine, divine feminine, and they got their dance going on. And when this kundalini reaches the top of your head, your crown chakra, the seat of the soul, God, the realization of, which you already are, rock star that you are, you begin to know things. How do you begin to know things? Well, the same way you've always known things. How did you know that song that you sang in your head as you turned on the radio in your car was playing? How did you know that? Well, Keith, that's just coincidence. Exactly. A coincidence. Two things that happen at the same time. An incident that coincides. How did you know that? This is really going to make you noodle. Did you know that song was coming? Because you thought about it, that you created it in your experience. To know exactly when to turn the stereo on. Chew on that stick of dynamite. Welcome to the Cave of Samadhi. From slave to brave. Slave, meaning imprisoned by the mind that says, I don't believe in omniscience. That's a slave, a self-induced slave. And it requires bravery, the cave, slave to brave. You're going to have to be brave to trek this wilderness. You want to climb up the mountain? It's always a climb up. Up is metaphor for all that is beautiful that we know as up to be. God, heaven, angels, sky, space, infinity. So you have to climb up to be up with it all. Big or small, short or tall. Do you want it? Omniscience. To know. You already know. How do you know that you know? Some people live in opinion very strongly, and they will swear to you and to me, and swear at you and swear at me about their opinion of what they think they know. Outside sources can be an amazing place to get wonderful information that will trigger intuition, which can be a catalyst to put you in knowing. But don't let the outside information, after a certain amount of time, linger any longer than it has to be. Because God is not only within, God is also without. But you will be without God if you never go in first. The 1,000-year journey into the cave of Samadhi, your communion with God. Take your shoes off. Leave your religion at the entrance. Because when you stand in the presence of your Creator, which will ultimately look like yourself, and many other things, it's all going to go away. It's all going to be shattered. And the fires of purification. Hello, sweet little girl. You want to come up with your dad? I say I'm her dad. Come here, pumpkin. Come here. Come in the cave with me. Boop. Right here. Kiss him. There we go. Oh, she fell off. Come here, boo-boo. Sorry about that. Come here. There you go. All right. Crystals in the cave. Animals are allowed in the cave. Where is my... Hang on one second. All right. So when you raise your Kundalini and you allow it to sit right here, the bottom of your pants, the seat of your pants, you will begin to dance a different dance altogether. Now, when it comes to all the omnis, omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence, I would conclude, bet, that not necessarily the most powerful, because that's an oxymoron, but let's just use that word anyway. The most powerful, or actually the one that is priority out of all the omnis, would be omniscience, omnipotence, omnipresence. How do you get to omnipotence and omnipresence? Through omniscience. By knowing a something, to do a something, to be a something, to whatever it is a something, to figure it not out, but figure it in. Because omniscience, knowing, I know. I don't think. I'm not thinking. You will never get to knowing as long as you are thinking. Think about that. So when you know, I know that there's a chair over there, even though the light is off, and I won't break my pinky toe. There's no power in that. All there is ignorance and unconsciousness. Darkness, if you will, because the light's off. The light in the mind, the light in the heart, the light of God is off. And so in that way, we are off kilter. Because we are filtering through the mind what we think is or is not happening. So omniscience, I would think, would be the most correct sequence. I would think it would be omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence in that order. Omniscience, I know that I am not disconnected from everything. That's the omnipresence. And when I begin to understand that, stand under something that means anything whatsoever at all, when I go, oh, wow, I see it's all me, then you gain omnipotence, which is infinite power, infinite knowledge, infinite presence, infinite power. This second, this minute, this hour, every day, provided you learn, well, how do I do it? It's not really a how. There are many techniques. How do I raise my Kundalini? Like that, just like that. God's breath blew you into existence. Man is sustained by the word, by the breath of God. We're created in the image and similitude of our Father. Principle. I as Father, I will. Fourth, I as Mother, I create. As Father, God wills. As Mother, God births. So when you move into that level of fire, apprenticeship, what a delicious word this is. Devotion. You ever thought about the word devotion? It requires utmost respect and attention to grasp it, even though you read it out of Webster's dictionary. Look up devotion. Hello, Kellen Renando. Let's say hi to everybody. Robert Harrison. Marina's in here. Kelly Bauman. Sana. Shah. Richard Wilson. What's up, bro? Melinda. Robert Harrison says, sex? Question mark. That would be a Kundalini moment. We have sex not only this way, whatever your favorite way is. You're having sex right now. You're having sex when you eat your food. You're having sex when you hang out with your best friend. You're having sex when you're watching a fantastic movie. Everything is coming into a space of intercourse because of an intercourse of wanting to amalgamate with something, simply to exchange energy. How you like that? Let's see who is here on YouTube. Hello, everyone. Carolyn Renando says, Omni. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Hum. Carolyn, that was fantastic. Brilliant. Omni. Om Mani Padme Hum. Fantastic. I am going to be in Florida Halloween night to November 1st doing a spiritual fair in, what is the name of the township? Melbourne, Florida. I'm going to go out there and do a spiritual fair, support the book. I'm going to be the keynote speaker, which I'm saying thank you to Mary Ellen. Beautiful lady she is. So, welcome to Center of Light. Tonight we're speaking about omnipresence, omnipotence, and most importantly, and I think it's most priority in the chain of the unfoldment of the lotus flower, the Kundalini energy as it rises every second, every minute, every hour. If you can use whatever you need to stay in bliss, ecstasy, a picture of someone you love, a beautiful song, a nice bite of watermelon or Kundalini, watermelon or strawberry, whatever it is that makes you feel nice, warm, cozy, and fuzzy. Do you see? Do you see? God is not hard. It's never been hard. In fact, not only is it hard to understand God, God itself is not hard and pressing and smashing and smiting. That's not what it is. It's you, me, the we of it all, moving into the cave of Samadhi. For those who don't know what Samadhi is, it is to simply be devoted so much to getting the all of it that I'm going to toss away and purify myself. That means there will be nothing, no thing of you or what you know as you left. That's the right way to right yourself in a form of balance. Yeah, but I can't just, well, you can. What you're saying is you won't. Well, I can't just toss that away because you can, but what you're telling me is you won't. So when a person agrees that, okay, I understand that. Because I can do that, I won't do that. And when a person admits that to themselves, they open up another door, because that is the key, is the honesty that is required to raise the Kundalini. See, it's not hard. Do you want to be in the cave of Samadhi? Do you want to truly be with your maker? Not your forsaker, your maker. Do you want to be with that? Do you want to marry your divine parent? I have my human qualities. I love being human, and I'm really freaking good at it. I have my human frailties to describe another way of the wholeness that I feel I am. I don't live with guilt anymore. Maybe I do. Some things. I work on it, play on it every day in the cosmic sandbox. I play in the cosmic sandbox as a divine innocent child. Whether things are wild or mild, I'm still looking for that person that is looking. I'm gonna be right back. I'm gonna play a song from Lavender Soul, my spiritual man. Let me see what's the best. I'm gonna come back when we get into the push. Kundalini, push and pull. Push and pull, push and pull. Recede and full. Recede and full. Lavender Soul, first album, Until You Walk By. Let this fire up your Kundalini engine. Let's see shortly.
Till you walk by.
Welcome back, everyone. I did say to a new friend I would actually post this. So I'm going to do this for this beautiful man doing a beautiful thing. I really don't, honestly, I really don't know this person. I don't. But I know this person. But I suggest you feel it out using your omniscience for yourself. But I said I would post it. Your idea seems beautiful to me. So Prakash, I'm assuming that's how you pronounce his name, Prakash, says, Keith, would you post this? Would you simply post this? This is our current GoFundMe page to raise urgent funds to able to help people and children very urgently. I think this is about feeding children. And I said I would post it. And I'm going to do that. This is the GoFundMe page. Have fun. Even if you well wish, or Om Mani Padme Hum, thank you, Carol, Lynn, Renando. This blessed page, if you bless it, that's fine. Do something, well wish it, support. Prakash, that's for you, my bro. So I want to share with you, for the rest of this presentation, which is about 25-30 minutes, Kundalini energy. Allow it to rise in the base of your spine, all the way through your backbone, the Va, Ya, heart, Gaia, the fire, desire, to go higher and acquire something. Ya, everything's backwards, forgive me. Na, the clear mind. And Va, the backbone, the caduceus, the medical staff, the Kundalini, rises to the top of your head and you become all-knowing. It makes absolute sense to me. If God is all-knowing, the closer you get to God, consciously, the more you know. It makes absolute sense to me. If God is omnipresent, the closer you get to God, the more that you see that you're not disconnected, but rather connected to everything. And if God is omnipotent, it makes sense to me that the closer you get to God, consciously, you fall into absolute power. Well, I've been looking for power. Thank you for showing me the way. That's not what I'm talking about. Because your will at this level of the game in the cave of Samadhi is not your own. You don't own it. Are you willing to die? Is the question. On all levels, and whatever it takes. When you're willing to eat a pile of dog poop, knowing that it will accelerate you to your goal. Well, Keith, I don't have to do that. Of course you don't. Some people need such leverage and tools to feel a sense of accomplishment to put them at the pinnacle of what it is they're trying to reach. Dog poop, the idolatry, if you will, the imagery of it many years ago when my mentor said, psst, you don't have to believe me, try it. In this stage of my life, in the dark night of the soul, I would have ate dog poop over and over without stopping, without dropping a bit of it, these dog droppings. Point is, I use these words to paint a picture of what you want to create as a fixture in your life beyond the strife. How did you know that song was going to play in the radio? How did you know? Well, Keith, I didn't know before, but I realized what a coincidence when it happened. So the question simply becomes, now that you see the evidence or saw the evidence that it did happen, simply ask yourself, what can I do to have seen this coming? Homecoming, Crossing the Bridge to the Soul, my new book. What could I have done to see this coming? Powerful question, isn't it? Keith, are you for real? I am so for real, you have no idea. And if you do, congrats. You've broken through the barrier of ideas to the highest possibility. Excuse me. Tonight, when I did this presentation, fashioned it, I just grabbed an old picture, which is this one. And said, I'm going to use this as a test. And I added the word omniscience. I'm going to use this as a test to see if I get Facebook slapped and copyright infringement. I'm not. Everyone's still here. Thank you, Lord. Thank you, you. But tonight is really about understanding that there is something, a knowing. How do you know that you know? Does it sound selfish and superficial to say, at Christmas time, I want a quick and upfront parking slot when I go to Walmart to buy my presents? That's exercise, my friend. That is absolute exercise to flex your spiritual omniscient muscles. Tonight, when I showed you that banner just a minute ago, I'm like, what do I know about omniscience other than the idea of omniscience? Being in the state of knowing at all times, or as often as possible, would be fantastico. You gotta raise your kundalini. You gotta feel it in that spot, that hot spot. The part of you that is fire, not on fire, is the fire itself. So now that you are burning, churning, turning, and yearning, and there goes my little cat. To be in that space ongoingly, you have to want it. So what do I get from it? Everything, but don't expect anything. That is the key. That is the key. Don't expect anything and you will get everything. I demonstrate to you when I did fashion this presentation tonight about omniscience, which is, I don't know anything really about omniscience other than its immediate definition. But I decided to trust. Trust is the stepping stone. It's the massage on your lower back, Kundalini. It is the massage of the mind. It is the massage of the heart. Trust. How do I know that if I trust, I get absolute omniscience? That is fighting the current already, because you're waiting for a validation. Trust does not ask nor require for validation. It simply requires to be in the elation, in the spiritual, if you will, masturbation of touching your true self to get not off, but on board and carry that sword of light, which is the Kundalini as it moves through you, in you, up you, to the level of absolute, ongoing, never-ending light. Is that what you want? It doesn't have to be as difficult as I'm describing it. You can say, I just want that shit. I just want that powerful, magical unicorn shit. Or that unicorn dog shit. And I will eat it every day, in every way, however it serves me. So I did not know what I'm going to talk about tonight. I only knew it to the level of the definition. But here I sit and I go into channel mode. A karate teacher can tell you all he wants. The move you need to do as a student to bring a realization, an idea, it's not enough. He has to demonstrate. So I'm demonstrating. I sat here and go, oh my God, I got myself in a quandary. And I said, no, I didn't. I'm going to pull myself through. And I said, that's not correct either. What is most correct is I'm just going to sit in the fire and have a freaking grand old time. Old time. Ancient. That which is old time. Ancient. Can it be that easy? It's that easy for me. So as a demonstrator and a creator, we are all creators. I'm demonstrating it's very easy. For many people who are trying to develop their psychic, omniscient, knowing, mediumship muscles, here is the biggest fight that we all go through, be it you a psychic practicing or just a person. The biggest fight is, what if I'm wrong? Right? Guess what? You will be wrong. So when we look at the diamond, honestly, beyond even the cracks in it, we say, oh my God, the beauty of this diamond went through billions or millions of years of pressure to become even this broken diamond. The diamond in a peanut butter jar is still a diamond. Changes perspective completely. Do you see? It's easy. It's not hard. Though you may see yourself as wanting to do better because of past misdeeds, you are not broken. Maybe you are one who is continually choking on nonsense. So what are you saying, Yanava? I'm not saying anything. And I'm saying a whole hell of a lot, pun intended. So I'm demonstrating. How did I know I could sit here and just go at it? I don't know, but I know. Know what I mean? Just like you. How do you know what to do after you've done this said thing for so long? You've integrated, initiated you did first, integrated, and now you're graduating into a mastership or masterhood about this thing that you never thought you could. How are you doing that? How do you know what you dreamed about last night? How do you know? How do you know? How do you know what you dreamed about last night? Tell me how. There were no words spoken. Did you hear audible words? Did you hear audible words when you were dreaming last night? No, you didn't. You just knew. Even running from that panther that was chasing your ass, only to realize that he could have mauled you when you woke up today, and you would still be alive. You'd still wake up. Are you getting good in the dream realm to where you can actually say, oh my God, I have a body sleeping on the bed. So I'm now in omniscience to where this tiger, this panther, this person, this event cannot harm me. Do you know that? I do. And I'm very successful at it. Have you ever in your life seen someone in a space of absolute knowing? I don't mean a good psychic. I don't mean a good medium. That's not what I'm talking about. Even if the psychic or the medium is at 90%, pushing hard 90%. Oh my God, this person is so on. And it's not about cold readings. We're talking about a medium, 90%. Have you ever seen someone who is 100%, not lacking 10%, 100% in absolute knowing? I have. And the level of humility that will be birthed within you from the fire of the Kundalini will astound you. Swamiji Visyogi as well as Sathya Sai Baba. I've seen them in my experience physically in spaces of absolute knowing. They are forever in absolute glowing. Always. They know. You have no idea what it will change you inside and out. without a doubt. When I was in India, among 35 plus thousand people, I got first row by the grace of God to touch the grace that is God, Satya Sai Baba, that came to this earth. I saw him, experience him in an absolute knowing. I'm on first row. Some guy from India is 3 or 4 rows behind me, and it's all about some love and light, right? And he says, Saidam, which means forgive me, I'm sorry, excuse me, hello, goodbye, Saidam. However you genuflect into it, it's what Saidam means. He says, Saidam meaning, I got a question. Saidam? I said, yes, sir. He says, would you be so kind to hand Satya Sai Baba this envelope, because Sai Baba is known for taking letters. And he knows exactly what's on every letter, even before he rips it open. Do you believe that? Are you open to omniscience? Omniscience, that which is beyond science of the physicality. So I'm on first row. Sai Baba walks in, comes to my row, comes to my area, and next thing you know, Saidam, would you give this to Sai Baba? I said, sure. I gave it to Sai Baba. This is what happened. You ready? I saw this. Not only did I see it, I saw it. I saw it. I was it, and it was me, and it was we. Satya Sai Baba grabs the letters from me, and he runs his hands over it. This is no joke. Don't choke on what I'm telling you. I hand him the letter, which is concerns about his family, his income, his abundance, all those things that are beautiful and selfless and absolutely prioritized, important to a family. I gave Sai Baba the letters. He grabs the letters from me. He passes his hand over it, taps the letters in his hand 3 times, and throws it back at perfectly. It bypasses me in 2 other rows to the guy who handed it to me. Throws it back at him. And Sai Baba says, and I hear him because I'm first row, he's literally from me to you. And he says, in a very soft voice that speaks and sounds like thunder, you have no idea. And says to this guy, you should know better than to give me that. There are proper channels for you to hand that to Sai Baba. So Sai Baba walks away, and I turned to the guy and said, what did you give him? He said, I gave him some money. So Sai Baba passed his hand over and said, I don't want your money in this regard. This is not what this work is about. This is about you supporting the prophecy of heaven on earth, and I am the living testament. Don't give me such foolishness. This is not what I am here for. I've also seen it with Swamiji. I'm in my first experience with Swamiji in Memphis, Tennessee. God on earth today, myself and a friend of mine who we arrived to the event separately. And though we both play music for a living, I'm a guitarist, singer, bass player, and Mike Sink happens to be a drummer. So Swamiji comes down and begins his discourse, which means, and his darshan, which means blessing of a holy man. He starts talking. And while people are singing and he's not talking, he looks at me and does this. Rock and roll. Does this. He doesn't stammer or stutter. He looks right to Mike Sink and says, you too. Being in a space of absolute knowing, I've also seen Swamiji. A friend of mine walked up to Swamiji and says, my mother recently passed away. He says, yes, passed away. Stroke on right side of brain. Too many thoughts creates pressure, creates expansion in the arteries, creates stroke. My friend's mother died of a stroke on the right side of her brain. This is not like just a fairy tale psychic. You will see, and I will, if I can find the video, that when these beings go into a space of absolute omniscience, their eyes will roll back in their head and all you will see is white. Why? Because the difference between someone telling the truth and someone telling a lie is depending on which side of the brain or the head the eyes look. On the right side, I think I'm correct, the spiritual side, they're accessing a soul memory or a file to bring out the truth or information. Looking the other way, they're fabricating ideas in the mind. But these avatars, they will roll their eyes completely in the back of their head because they're looking for a file to access Akashic information from the Akashic library. But to be in the Akashic records, you have to activate that Kundalini. The energy at the base of your spine, that which is sexual, that which is sensual, that which is primal, and use that very fire of everything. I want this thing so much. That is the fire. And it begins the dance of the caduceus. Do you see? And then everything in life will get you off. But you have to get on board to get off. But you would never want to get off because you always want to be on board. See all those plays of words? Everyone wants to get off. But you have to get on board to get off, and then you will never want to get off. You know more than you think you know. You know more than you think you know. But you're trying to know too much too quick, and you don't trust it. Like me. A recap of tonight's events. Thank you for joining me in the cave of Samadhi. We are all somebody. We all want to be recognized. I have recently been literally talking to my little cat. Talking to her as if I am speaking to a 3-year-old child. And if you're doing that already, congratulations. Maybe in the form of petship, I'm a little slow. But I explained to her, this is a light. This is a lighter. This is a phone charger. This is a cat tree. And she understands. She goes, I've been waiting on you, dumbass. I'm already omniscient. I'm waiting on you. Because they are always in the now moment. They don't know things as if they're trying to retrieve from a bank or an Akashic record file. That's not what they do. That's not what anyone does that is illumined in the fire. Well, I know everything and I'm cool because I know everything. That's not what happens. When you're in the space, in the grace, in the moment that you need it, it simply appears. Suddenly through the silence, the new world appears. I'm just silent. I don't have to go, but, well, did I forget about this thing I knew yesterday and last week and last month and last year? No, you don't have to try to remember this as if you're logging something. It's already logged. You need to be omnipresent with the omniscience. Then you gain the omnipotence. Knowledge is power. Google is God. Take that out of context if you like. Google is God. It is a manifestation of God. Google is a manifestation of that which is omniscient. Information is all over the planet. Omnipresent. There's nothing you can not find from whatever all over the planet. And we know knowledge to be power. This is the place we are living at in this period of our conscious evolution. Resolution and revolution, and we find ourselves in this revolve, this resolution, this revolution. But are you resolving, becoming a new constitution yourself. Are you free? Do you know what freedom feels like? Do you want to know what freedom feels like? You have to go into the cave of Samadhi. You have to be willing to be burnt away, purified, from ash to ash, dust to dust. The spirit will forever rise. See those two phoenixes right there? You have to rise. Will you arrive to the occasion? Simply, you know more than you think. Get out of your believing head, it's dead, and fall into your knowing heart. It's the shortcut to everything you can possibly know. Well, how am I able to discern what it is that I believe and that which it is I absolutely know? If you're asking that question in the first place, you don't know anything yet. You can bet. You can sweat, but you will regret in the future. If you're asking that question in the first place, you're not there yet. No one's judging you. There's no fail. Use it as your measurement stick. If you're asking the question, am I sure? You might actually be sure, but you also insert into the equation, I'm not sure, in my mistrust as to why I'm affirming to myself, am I sure? Knowing has nothing to do with, let me retrace my steps. 1 + 1 = 2, + 2 = 4. And that's not what knowing is. Knowing says, know what I mean? Omniscience. What a beautiful package that comprises this gorgeous, delicious fractal that you see when you look in the mirror. It can't be any clearer than that. Omniscience. The closer we get to God, the more you know. The more you see yourself, God, as this connection to everything that has ever been created now or forever will be. How can you separate yourself from the source that generates everything for eternity? The more you will feel your liberation. And then the closer we get to God, raising that kundalini, that fire, that drive, that I want this thing, whatever the thing is, the more you begin to fall into the divine fire, which is omnipotence, not impotence. I'm not impotent sensually about those things I want. I'm omnipotent. I have the power, I have the fire, I have the drive, I have the passion of the Ya, Yanava, Ya. I'm working on something. Before I close tonight, thank you. Omniscience, omnipresence, and omnipotence. Yanava, Ya, Na, Va. Ya would be omnipotence, power, fire, Ya, the Ya in the heart. Na would be give me a second. I'm going through the gamut. Ya, the mind, would be there's a very delicate line between them. Ya would be Na would be omnipresence. I understand that I'm not separated from anything. I have a clear mind. And Va, the backbone, would be Va. So Ya would be the heart, the fire, omniscience. Na would be the understanding, the integration of omnipresence, which would create omnipotence, the power of the Va, the backbone to carry out. I can carry it out because I have the power. Yanava, omniscience, omnipresence, omnipotence. So that's something you have to study or learn. just burn into that fire. That's what you are. It's not hard. It's never been hard. We've always been hard on ourselves. Be easy. Soften up. Get out of being dumbfounded. Best way. Stop having an opinion. In an opinion, keep your mouth closed. Keep your mind open, but keep your mouth closed. Just don't speak. No one has to hear your opinion. Sometimes we can be dead on, or it can be fully alive. Sometimes it can be dead wrong. No way to strive. So, the best way to win, again and again, is to speak when you know. You know? How do you know that you know? You know that you know when you know. And no one else can tell you any different. You are loved beyond measure. It is my pleasure to be in this treasure trove we call life, heaven on earth. Heaven on earth is not a future event. Heaven on earth is not a future event. It's right here, right now.